Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. I had just made this video not that long ago, and unfortunately I didn't realize I was running out of space, so the stuff got cut out. I had to delete it all, and I'm doing it all over again. But that's okay, I guess. That's what we gotta deal with this technological stuff. But anyway, here's what I was talking about. This platform that we all use here to make our content and, try to spread our message, whatever it is that we have to talk about. This platform does not like authenticity. And the reason why is because we live in a world that is based upon lies, deceit, illusions, misconceptions, wrong ideologies. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of disorder. We don't live in a world that I would say heart-based today, far from it. Everyone is operating from their minds, and the mind is easily swayed in many different directions because of the social structures and how the world works today, how things operate on every level, from childhood all the way up to adulthood. And I've talked about this a million times. We all know that, right? But there are a lot of channels here that talk about things that may seem good on the surface. Because, everybody likes to hear good things, right? Make them feel good and all this. But just because there are certain, channels or certain people, whatever, and I'm not taking a jab at anybody here and, judging or anything like that. It's just, I've said this before. Please use discernment and think carefully and use your heart. If something sounds too good to be true, it's because it is. I've also said this before. There's people out there that they're selling this idea that something's gonna happen someday in the future and we're all gonna get saved. And I'm sorry to break it for you and to give you the bad news, but that's called illusion. That's called lack of accountability. That is called not wanting to be responsible for your own actions. And everybody lives and operates that way today, most of the time. Unfortunately, it's just a fact. And facts cannot be changed, my friends. I've talked about this, okay? You can have a different opinion, a different idea about something. You can agree to disagree. Whatever it is that you want to do. But we have to be responsible for our own actions and our own doing. Not only individually, but as humanity as a whole. So I'm here to tell you that there is no Space Brothers coming to save us from ourselves. Or whoever it is that you think it's gonna be the case. Because this job is your job. Nobody else is ever going to do that for you. The same way you cannot fix somebody. You cannot heal someone's psychological trauma or wound because they have to do it themselves. This is how the world works. We cannot be rescued by something outside of ourselves. There is no such thing. That is hopium. You know what that is? It's there's a no there's an entire market. There's a whole idea. There's huge amounts of people out there that they are so desperate with the state of their own lives that they will consume they will consume and consume whatever type of media that is out there that is giving them hope. But you can hope all you want, but hope without action, hope combined with inaction, will not do anything at all for you. It's only going to make things worse. You can't hope just for the sake of hope. That's not how it works. So the reason why I called hopium, it's because it's a word, kind of a made up word. It's a mix of hope with coping, copium. This is how a lot of people are coping these days. They want to find whoever is the next, content creator out there, or the word that a lot of people used to like to use is influencer. Look at the meaning of that word alone, influencer. What does that mean? It's someone who is influencing you, the way you think, the way you do things, the way you live your life. And we're not here to live someone else's dream. We're here to live our own dream, our own reality, our own life. And that's something that nobody else can do it for you. No matter how much, media you're consuming from whoever that person is, and it doesn't matter, you have to be the one who does your own thing, to look within yourself. Because number one, you're the one who has all the answers for all the problems that you have. They're all within. You just gotta learn how to reach for it and bring that about. Anyone out here claiming to be the master of this, the master of that, to have knowing about all kinds of things, it doesn't matter what it is. Make sure you do your research on that person before you start blindly believing everything they say like it's the ultimate truth of something. Because it's very easy to be deceived today, easier than it has ever been, because of internet, AI, and all kinds of sources of knowledge that exists now. But just because someone is regurgitating a lot of things that they read somewhere or they were fed by someone doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. The way you find out is you start watching their stuff a few times, and that'll be enough for you to see if a person is being interviewed or something when they can't answer certain questions. That's how you know. That's how you know. Because someone is claiming to be a master of something, they should have all the answers, right? There should be absolutely zero hesitation when it comes to answering things. If someone that claims to be all-knowing about something cannot answer the questions that they're being asked, there's something very fishy in the air. And there are so many psyops these days happening that are being funded by shady entities, people, dark powers, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them. It's all over the place, my friends. It's the famous wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm not a religious person, but even the Bible warned us about these things, that there would be a time where there would be all kinds of false prophets and false messiahs, And it's happening right now as we speak. Because you have to understand this platform, these people that have a lot of reach and get a lot of views and have hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers, whatever the case it is, do you honestly think that they have their best interest, your best interest in their mind? No, they have their best interest in their minds because they are making a living out of this. They are making money out of this. They need the revenue that they receive from this type of stuff to continue living their lives. So of course there's going to be some sort of agenda behind the whole thing. There are going to be very, very, very few people on here on this platform that are talking about good things when it comes down to the spiritual side of things, that actually mean what they say what they mean, and walk the talk that they are preaching to other people. So I said this before, and I'll say it again for the last time. Maybe not the last time, but for this video, okay? Be very mindful of the media that you consume and the people that you are listening to. Because just because it sounds all lovey-dovey and all that stuff doesn't mean it's the real thing. I have a few people that I follow personally that I like to watch their things, okay? And I can tell based on the life that I lived in my own personal experience and my perspective of life that I have gained to my 50 plus years on this earth, when someone is authentic and they mean what they say. And some of these channels that I follow, they're small. They don't have lots of subscribers as compared to some others that are out here getting all the views. And these people, you know, why are they not getting views? Why are they not getting reach like some other people are? It's because the algorithm does not like authenticity and real stuff. When you come on here and you start talking about the real things, they're not gonna like you. But if you're coming here to deceive people, to have an agenda, and to talk about things that, you know, on the surface they may sound great and all that, but then when you go deep into it, you know what I'm talking about. Look, like I said, I'm not judging, okay? Everyone has their own life to live, and we're all free to do whatever the heck we want to do. But it bothers me a lot sometimes when I see that there are so many good people out here trying to do the best that they can to help people genuinely, to see the world for what it truly is and how things actually work on every aspect, every facet, every layer of all these illusions that we're being subjected and bombarded to on a daily basis, all around us, everywhere. So it is very rare for you to see people in here on this platform who really, you know, are the real deal, are authentic, and are trying to sincerely help others. Because, you know, nobody helped us. We figured these things out ourselves. We had to do our own homework to know these things, to figure these things out. We had to go through a lot of things. And then we come here, and when I'm talking about we, I'm not talking about myself specifically. Yeah, I'm included, obviously, but I'm not the only one. There are other people here. I'm not the only one. There are other real good, genuine, authentic people here trying to help others spread the message, talk about this stuff that I talk about, and you know, they're not getting the views. You would think, they be getting all kinds of views. I know channels on this platform that have like over 800,000 subscribers. Good people. And then they put out videos and they talk about this stuff and they get 2,000 views, 3,000 views. Almost out of 900,000 people. Just let that sink in for a minute. What is up with that math? Something doesn't add up. And yeah, I understand that not everyone that subscribes to your channel is gonna watch every single one of your videos, but do you see the disparity here? Something is messed up. And then all of a sudden some unknown people pop out of nowhere in the last few years and they're blowing up everywhere. And if you have some brains and you do your own research, you're gonna know that these people are not what they're claiming they are, and they're full of it. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You be your own judge. Okay? Make sure you do your own research. Find out about people who have channels that are really big and get a lot of followings. Find out who they are. If they really mean what they say, or if there's something more sinister behind the scenes. That's all I'm gonna say. If you like the channel, if you like what I talk about, if it resonates with you, like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate that. I value every single one of you that come here and take time out of your life to listen to what I have to say. And I really mean that. And this is all I wanted to talk about today, my friends. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors going around. So be very mindful and aware of that. That is all. Be smart. Use your intuition, your discernment, and your heart. And then you're going to be okay. You won't be deceived. It's not that easy to avoid these things. I'll catch you all next time. Until then, take care, my friends.